You check the locks twice before bed. You leave a light on in the hallway, just in case. You know, logically, nothing is going to crawl out of the dark and hurt you, and yet your heart still speeds up when the power goes out. That reaction isn't fear of what's actually there. It's fear of what might be. And that gap is one of the oldest things about you. Darkness has never killed anyone. So why does your body treat it like a real threat? Go back roughly 2 million years to the East African savanna. Before fire, before shelter meant more than a rock overcrop. Your ancestors were not the top predator of that landscape. Lions hunted at night. Leopards hunted at night. Hyenas hunted in packs, using darkness the way modern hunters use camouflage. Anthropologist Donna Hart has studied predation on early hominins, and her research shows early humans were hunted regularly. Fossil evidence includes tooth marks from big cats matching the exact spacing of a leopard's jaw. For most of human evolution, walking into darkness meant walking into a killing field you couldn't see. Think about what that pressure does over time. Individuals who felt dread at nightfall stayed near the fire, near the group. They survived to have children. The ones who felt nothing, who wandered off casually, were more likely to simply not come back. That's natural selection, quietly sculpting a species that flinches at shadows before it can explain why. There's a stranger piece to this. Darkness doesn't just hide predators, it hides information, and your brain hates missing information almost as much as it hates danger. Psychologist Richard Koss has studied the evolutionary roots of fear responses and points out that human night vision is remarkably poor compared to the animals that once hunted us. For most of your species' history, night wasn't just dangerous, it was blinding. Imagine standing in grass taller than your head, hearing something move, with no way to know what it is or how close. Your brain doesn't default to calm, it defaults to worst-case assumption. Across evolutionary time, humans who assumed the worst and were wrong survived. Humans who assumed the best and were wrong did not get a second chance. That asymmetry is the whole story. A false alarm costs a racing heart for a few minutes. A missed real threat costs your life. So evolution built you to err drastically on the side of paranoia the moment the lights go out. Then fire changed everything. The controlled use of fire, dated by some researchers to at least 1 million years ago based on burned bone and ash at sites like Wonderwork Cave, gave early humans back their vision after dark. For the first time, a person could stand in the middle of the night and actually see. Fire didn't just push back predators, who generally avoid flame. It pushed back the uncertainty itself. It's no accident fire sits at the center of nearly every ancient human gathering. It was the first technology that made nightfall feel survivable. Here's the twist. You don't live on the savannah. Statistically, nighttime isn't meaningfully more dangerous to you than daytime. So why hasn't evolution caught up? Because it can't. Evolution optimizes for the environment your ancestors survived on a timescale of tens of thousands of years, not decades. Electric light has existed widely for barely a century. That's nothing against 2 million years of nightfall meaning danger. Your amygdala doesn't know what a streetlight is. It's still scanning for a predator's silhouette against a moonlit horizon. This is why fear of the dark peaks in early childhood and then gets managed, not eliminated, through learned reassurance. You didn't stop being afraid of the dark. You learned to override the feeling with logic, while the underlying circuitry stayed exactly the same as it was in a cave 100,000 years ago. That's why you leave a hallway light on. Not superstition, not childishness. An ancient survival algorithm, still running in a body built for a world that no longer fully exists. Assume the worst. Stay close to the light. Don't wander. You check the locks twice before bed. Not because you're afraid of the dark itself, but because somewhere in you, a much older self is still standing at the edge of the firelight, watching the black tree line, waiting to see if anything moves.